Alrighty, guys. So good evening. Happy Wednesday night. I'm super excited about the fact that we have another great, amazing guest on with us that I just want you guys to be able to hear from. Rusty is going to take it over, but I just want you guys to understand something that I felt compelled to for her to be on here with us tonight from. Um, just hearing her discuss, I mean, in the past, guys, we've heard from Melody, we've heard Rusty, and everybody tell us about the and Pam Souter too. Tell us about the importance of keeping our enrollments tight with us. And now that we have this new system in place that now is a part of forcing you to do that, to understand why the income is there for you to be able to take advantage of and how it's actually affecting you. I love when I heard her mention this and mention how it's affected her and helped in so much, where I wanted her to be able to come on and tell you guys, because maybe you need to hear it again. Maybe you need to really understand as to the importance of what 4-in-1 means. So if so many of you are used to move to build a team, and then you get your check, and your check is like half of what it's supposed to be, instead of what it's supposed to really be if you would have kept it. So I'm excited to have her on. I've seen her so many times, heard her story, seen her growth, seen her promotions. And thank you so much for being on tonight, Jackie. Rusty, I'm gonna let you take it over so you can host tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carissa. We've been doing these calls and these Zooms. We've never missed a week in 20 years. I was showing up every week to get this done. And I had the privilege of 2 years ago meeting Jackie. We just got through speaking at the Coliseum. We walked out of a hotel and this young lady comes up and she was crying. And I thought, oh, wow, are you okay? She said, I'm so inspired and so moved by the entire event and all the years that we put in. So what I want to tell you, all the years we put in, Mark and I, it was worth it. We knew you guys were coming, but her story was extremely special to my wife and I as we went across the street, and we just sit down for her to just tell me the story, the passions that she had. And she went on, and the one thing I love about Jackie, she's from Canada, and I've been to Canada several times, but what she's done is backed up every word she said that particular night on the bay over in Tampa, Florida. So Jackie, it's a privilege for you to be on one of our team Zooms. So come on and take it away and just share with your heart and your passion. And I know you've got. And there's some people here, some brand new people that just came in just minutes ago before we got on the Zoom. But share that same passion you did a couple of years ago over in Tampa.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me on here. Even like just hearing you talk about that, I just remember that, and it actually makes me so emotional because I literally am not going to start crying. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm ready to start crying, but it made me so emotional because I just will never forget how you made me feel how you made me feel in that moment, and I just really appreciate you. I'm really honored to be here. So thank you for having me here. But my name is Jackie. So yeah, a little bit about me. Just a little bit about my story. I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm a presidential out of Canada. I say 2.0, but I know that's the wrong word. My spouse is also Mike. He's a presidential as well. And 5 years ago, I found this business. It was really random. I actually won a rap off Facebook. And then this random girl added me, a couple months later that offered me the business. And at the time I was working full time. I was working at TELUS, which is like our cell phone carrier in Canada. It's like an AT&T or Verizon. And then I always served, I always had like a bartending job or a serving job. Drop like a 2 if that's you. I'm just curious if anyone else has ever done that. Like I'm always working 2 jobs. That was what we did. And Mike was an engineer on the railway. We had moved before we had kids. Out to this new town that was like 3 hours from our family. And we just always worked, but we were always broke. You know what I mean? You're always just in this rat race, and you just kind of think it's normal. And I'm one of those people that I was I know the right thing to do is to go to college, but I dropped out and I was I'll do it later. And then later is 5 years later. And then all of a sudden you're pregnant and you're oh my gosh, where did the last 5 years go? And you're in this situation. And that's what happened. And, we had always had a roof over our head, but if we're the person where we were the type of people, if we had to get, our car put in for an oil change, and then they'd call you and they're oh, and there's something else. You're no, you're I just don't have it. We're that close. And, I remember when we found out that I was pregnant, I just started thinking to myself, like, that was the moment where I realized if I don't change what I'm doing, like nothing's going to change. Like you just have this like kind of slap in the face moment where if I don't change what I'm doing, nothing is going to change. And I thought about this girl that had reached out to me 3 years previous. She had followed up with me. I was the person that said, no, you know, I don't need this. I'm working 2 jobs. But when my situation changed, I literally got to the point where I said, I just have to at least give it a try. Like I have to, it was just in the back of my mind. And the reason it was in the back of my mind is because she was the most consistent person on my timeline. Like I didn't join my friend. Like, here's the thing, like nobody owes it to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I realized. I didn't owe it to my friends to join them. I literally joined this random lady from 3 towns over that I just trusted her because she was so consistent in what she did. Funny story. A week after that, she quit or she left the company or she got kicked out of the company or something. And I'm like, man, like 3 years. And then I'm like, you know, that TikTok sound, it's like, is it me? Am I the drama? Am I the villain? I don't think I'm the villain. That's how I felt. And so I'm like, okay, now I either quit or I go. And I say this because you're going to have these moments in your business where you come to this fork in the road and it's usually easier to bounce. Like that's what humans do. Like when it gets hard, when things get hard, they leave. And I just had the mindset where I'm like, I'm just gonna, instead, I know what happens when I come into an objection and then find the easy way out. I know what that's like because that's what I've done my whole life. So I just had this moment where I said, I'm just gonna take quitting off the table. I'm gonna shock my system. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't care how long it takes me. Like this was just the mindset. I don't care what happens. This is why I'm here. And I just did all the things. I got on YouTube. I showed up to calls like this. And, you know, I'll just sum it up really quickly. After 3 months, I was able to quit my serving job. After 5 months, I was able to replace my corporate income. We had our son. I didn't have to put him in daycare. Like it just really happened so quick. And then a year and a half later, Mike was still at the railway. We got pregnant with our second. We had a ton of complications. And that was the moment that I realized sometimes we're working really hard and we're applying all this pressure at something, but we don't know why yet. And when I got pregnant with our daughter, I realized like, this is why I've been working so hard because like Mike had to be home. Like I literally, long story, but I literally almost died having McKenna. And it made me just so thankful for the work that I put in. Mike came home, you know, a year half into this business. He was supposed to just take the year off for parental. We built this business through that time. We tripled his income. We've been home for the last 5 years. I mean, It Works has changed our life. But that's pretty much my story. That's pretty much how we got started. And I think over time, your why changes, your reason changes. I think now more than ever, like in this last 2 years, you just realize like, whatever you're here for might change. It might have switched up, but you know, the one thing I'll say over the last 5 years, we've had lots of ups, lots of downs, you know, lots of seasons, obviously, whether that's personal, business, but one thing I'll promise you is giving up is not the answer. You know what I mean? Like just persevere through everything. I've just realized that no matter if we do this business, the next business, whether I'm selling whatever I'm doing, life is going to happen. And I've just realized like my head is down always. My blinders are on always. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I just look to get better every day. And over the last 5 years, it's incremental. You can look back and that 1% doesn't seem like a lot. But when you look back and you're standing at the top of the staircase and you realize how far you've come, it's pretty sweet. So anyways, that's my story.
Let me unmute myself here. It sounds like we all go through the growing periods, and every time you go through a struggle, the struggle is for you to grow. And out of every struggle is the blessing that you've been praying for. And so, and as we see people grow through the last 20 years, it's really exciting to see you mature up. And when your why changes because your growth pattern is changing into the next level, as you mature up, you take on a bigger why and a bigger goal. Everything becomes bigger because now you're mature enough to handle that. Does that sound correct? Mm-hmm. So let me switch things up here a second. What do you think about the new 4-in-1? How people are coming right out of the gate, and we're the #1 company in the world for the weekly fast starts. What do you think about that, Jackie?
Well, you know, it's literally the best thing. I think it's the best thing It Works could have done. You know, this 4-in-1, it's simple. Like, it's just simple. It's simple. It's duplicatable. Like, there's no guesswork. It's for, you know, 4 customers, 1 distributor. You can do that as much as you want. You can have, like, I love that, you know, I'll tell you what I truthfully love about it. I feel like sometimes people feel if they're not a mass enroller, you know what I mean? That they get hard on themselves. Like, people are like, oh, I'm not doing this is like, this is the basics. And you can take this at whatever level you want. Like, if you want to come in and build this as side hustle money, you focus on 4-in-1. If you want to come in and make this a full-time income to pay your mortgage, to pay your car note, to pay whatever, you focus on 4-in-1. And so I feel like in this business, we can overcomplicate so much, and it's so easy to look around and what people are doing. Like, I mean, over the last, you know, even, you know, I've been in this for 5 years, Rusty's been in for 20 years. Like, although there's different ways to build this business, what really doesn't change is the core foundation. We post, we message, we grow our network, we follow up. Doing those 4 things brings us 2 types of people, customers and distributors. How far do you want to take it? You know, do you want to do it 1 time? Do you want to do it 2 times? Do you want to do it 3 times? Now, the other thing I will tell you is I actually have everything printed off here. Like, I love that it's just simple. You look at it, it's simple, it's easy, it's trackable. But when you start actually looking at the compensation plan, this is gonna, like, when they say that they're looking to increase people's paychecks by 25 to 40%, they're not joking. Like, this new bonus and this new way of building essentially is going to have you maximize on the fast start, but it's going to have you maximize on your levels as you build. And it's exciting because a new distributor can come in and on their first 2 levels make 15% as they're building 4-in-1. Like, you can make really good money doing this. And so I love that, you know, to teach and to duplicate, we have to give people something to duplicate. So if you're feeling lost, all you have to focus on is 4-in-1. That's how it duplicates. I love it. I love it.
The beautiful part is you get the extra $350 bonus to complete your 500 by teaching and helping that person grow. Mm-hmm. And Melody McFarland and I did a 5-level deal once, where if everybody just kept your customers all the way 5 levels, that you have a 6-figure income monthly, every month. And so when you make up your mind, we're going to build it tight and right. I think that is the adage that we started off 20 years ago. That's what we've implemented. But in the structure, Mark is a genius by bringing the particular structure that forces that to happen. And in 6 months from now, you're going to be so glad that you listened. You're going to wish you listened 20 years ago. But right now, for the new people coming in, they have no idea what they got their hands on, the ability they have to go to earn that next level. And I need to ask you, talked about, you know, when I met you in Tampa a few years ago and we went across, you talked to my wife and on another group of people. What's it like a day in a life in Jackie's life to be a full-time mommy, to have that full-time family? What's that like?
It's awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm already crying like today. I'm like, am I gonna cry? Am I gonna keep crying? It's awesome. Like, you know, time is our most precious resource, you know? And I've always, I mean, I'm not very smart, so I have to hustle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not very smart, so I have to hustle. So I've always worked 60 hours a week, you know, like, I'm away from my kids. Like Mike working at the railway, like, even before we had kids, hearing him say, like, families go through a really hard time in the railway because, you know, they're not home or like, it's a struggle. Like, I've realized, like, being with my family every day for every moment, like it literally, I've been home for like 4 years and I still want to cry. Like, I'm so grateful for it. And that's not why I started this business. I started this business because we were like $60,000 in credit card debt and I just wanted to pay a little bit extra to that debt. But to now, like, think that vehicle is like what has allowed me to be home. Like, all our kids know is both mom and dad home. Like, I could, like, that in itself to me is priceless. You know what I mean? Like, money is great. I love money. I love to make money. In fact, if you look on my wall, you'll see money foot. Like, I love money, not just because I like to like, I like to give money. I think money is an energy. I just love money. I think money makes you a better person. I think you can give back more. I think you can, like, impact so many people. Like, I love to make money, but I don't think money is everything. I don't think money buys happiness. I think that money gives you options and money gives you time. And like, I don't know about you, but this last 2 years has made me realize like, I need to be here. I need to be present, you know? And so having network marketing be the vehicle, like think about if someone were to ask you right now, what is your dream job? And I know this sounds like so cliche because you see those people on like TikTok, like, I have your dream job, you know, but truthfully, like, what is your dream job? Right? A lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, it's a doctor or whatever. I make so much money. Like, okay, great. But like, you got to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're away. Like, you want to be a lawyer? Like, you're away. Like, I'm not knocking that. That's awesome. I wish I could be a lawyer. But in my best case scenario, like having network marketing give me the time, like it's irreplaceable. Like I will never regret the work that I put in this business ever. I'll go through every single valley anytime. Like I will be here always because nothing else that I know of will give me time with my kids. And man, our kids are young once. Like we have like one, like, you know, it's gone so quick. I don't know. I love it.
Well, you know, you stop and think about what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I had the same feelings 20 years ago when my little girls were little girls and they were like preschool, just going into the first grade. I'm missing 3 weeks a month as a corporate guy flying all over the world doing big corporate banking deals. And I come home one afternoon, and what made me realize it, I looked over the fireplace mantel, and there was this big picture of my wife and 2 daughters. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. And then it hit me, you're not in it.
Oh my God.
And when you say you're not in it, so what I wanted to do is I made up my mind, where do I want to be at the end of this week, where I want to be at the end of the month, where I want to be at the end of the year, where I want to be at the end of life. It is my life. And network marketing was the only way that I could go out and create a big business and have the time freedom and the flexibility to earn millions and millions and some more millions of dollars. That is a matter of fact. That is not a joke. That is not bragging. That is the impact you're going to have on other people. When you start to earn the 6 and 7 figures, you're a person of impact. You're a people that's changing other people's lives, and there you're getting paid for it. And you know, when you look at how much doctors make here in the United States of America, with the time they don't even come close to what we make. And I'm not saying that to brag. And there's a bunch of us. But here's what I want to tell you. From what I understand for the last couple of days, and people I've been talking to that make all the decisions, y'all haven't made anything yet. You ain't even got close to making anything yet. You can't be the number one company in the front of the end and in the back end, and not from what she just said. If that caught your inner ear for what she just said, for everything just in your unilevel, forget the bonuses, forget everything else. You're going to be glad you did, because you know what I did the very first month, I have never missed a check in 20 years. And they all have been astronomical, crazy kind of money. I never expected to earn this kind of money or have this kind of life in this deal. I was just mad at the bank. I walked in and fired them and didn't have nothing coming with me when I came home and left and come home and told Robin, why are you home? I just quit my job. She said, no, you didn't. It's just I did. Because she and I were very poor. We know what it is to have no lights, no food, no help, nothing. We know what it's like back in the early days. I kept telling, one day I'll be a multimillionaire. I'll take you places you ain't never been. She said, we ain't eating 3 days. Well, I don't want to focus on some food right now. But I never let that diminish the dream I had in here. And for 20 years, you cannot find an alarm clock in my house. I don't allow it. That is a no-no. That is a cardinal break the law, go to jail. You know why? Because I don't live by somebody else's time. I'm not going to be on a corporate structure participating in modern day slavery when I wanted to be a full. See, my 2 daughters just left. They're grown girls. And I got one fixed to get married, and she says in 2 years I'll have a grandson. And I'm excited about that. But you know what? I had my whole last 20 years to instill mine and their mother's value system into them. So make up your mind right now. What I want to be at the end of this week, at the end of this month, at the end of this year, at the end of 10 years. You know, I want to ask you, and I don't care what you tell me, Mark and I, we will gladly step up and buy the company. Tell me what you're doing right now that you have the ability to make at least $1 million in the next 10 years. Well, I don't know a conventional business. I used to own a chain of grocery stores. It wasn't going to happen there. Too much expenditure. But tell me where you could go and have the flexibility and the time freedom to take a telephone, jump in your truck, jump in your car, do whatever, go wherever, and have the ability to operate a global business just at wherever you are. Where you're in the islands, you're in the mountains, you're wherever. And so when you make up your mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create persistency, consistency, and you know what's going to happen? That's what creates momentum in this business. And I love what she said. she's a fighter. I don't give up. And I could tell when I met you and you come out of the hotel crying, and I'm like, wow, it's somebody hurt this child. So your emotion, I've never forgot that emotion you had about where you are, but you've backed it all up. So we got some brand new people on here. Got some people here excited. Got people here now. I'm going to the next level very quickly. What is one or two things that you could give them right now that will send them out of here and to go out and create that great momentum? And the one thing that creates momentum when one person does it, whether you're Jackie in Canada or you're Carissa in New Jersey, me in North Carolina, or wherever you're from, it creates solvency and the opportunity. So the more momentum we all create, the more it all helps every one of us.
So I think the first thing is like, if you haven't already, get crystal clear on why you're here, for real. Like, and not just like, I want to make $500. No, why do you want to make $500? Why is that impactful for you? Well, because I want to be home with my kid. Why though? Why? And then, well, because, when I don't want to miss those moments, because when I was young, my mom wasn't here, and like, I don't want to keep that cycle. Like, I want to be there, like my, whatever, right? Like whatever it is. Okay. Why though? Like, you have to keep like peeling back the layer of the onion, literally until you get to the thing like that just makes you want to cry, like for real, because that is going to be your driving force. That's just going to be it, because it's going to be hard. You're going to have days where you don't feel like doing it. Like, let's just not sugarcoat it. You're going to have days where somebody tells you you're in a pyramid scheme. You're going to have days where you doubt yourself. You're going to have days where it's hard to do it. You're going to have you're going to. And so what has always grounded me is knowing why I'm here. And if you don't know what you want, maybe you should start thinking about what you don't want, because you're either going to be fueled by your purpose or you're going to be fueled by your pain. And I was very fueled by my pain at the beginning of this. I was like, I don't really know what I want, but I just know that I don't want to put $10 in my gas tank anymore. I don't really know what I want, but I just know that I don't want to be the mom that has to tell my kid we have to choose between basketball or soccer because we can only afford one. Like, that gets me fired up. So that's the first thing. Number two, take massive action. I don't really know if like I can say this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Like, I really believe that if you want to get momentum, okay, how does an airplane take off the ground? Okay, imagine if an airplane was like not moving off, like airplanes don't go like this, okay? They go like this. Like, you have to have momentum on the ground. It has to be fast. It has to be strong. And if you don't, it won't work. Like, think about this. You want to put popcorn in a microwave, like, and you open the door every 10 seconds. This is true. I've tried it. It doesn't pop. I've literally tried it twice. So I was like, I wonder if it's a glitch. No, it's for real. It doesn't pop. So, it's like the trend on TikTok right now. It's like, oh, if you want to be a millionaire, you just have to take a nap and meditate for 30 minutes. No, dude, you got to work. You have to work. And like, this is like what I'm not afraid to tell people. Anybody can do what we do. Most of you, just not you, but like most people just won't do it. And so for me, if I do not like where I'm at, if I want to get, and not even not liking where I'm at, if I'm starting at zero, which we all do, or even if you've been in for a bit and you're like, you're just trying to get to the next level, I really think you have to shock your system. You have to like shock your system. And too many people are just dipping their toe in their water. And then they're waiting for the result to come till they feel motivated, for them to be like, oh yeah, no, that's like saying you're going to put logs on the fire when it gets hot. You got to put the logs on the fire for the fire to get hot. And so I think that you just have to take massive action. You just have to take massive action. And so I'll just say this, like, I've been doing this for 5 years, and we've always pretty much, we've had incremental growth. Like we've had ups and downs, but we've always kind of grown. And it came to a point like a year, maybe like 6 months ago, where I just felt like, I was like, what is next? I'm ready. Like, I got to do something different. Like, if you're doing something and it's not getting you result, it is up to you as an entrepreneur to switch it up. And so for me, I just like looked around and I'm like, this is my mindset. I'm like, I'm just going to do the most. So about 90 days ago, and I know some of you guys know this because we're in chat together, about 90 days ago, I was like, it's just time. Like, I'm going to do the most. So I went from doing a lot to like, okay, what's bringing me results right now? Okay, I'll just tell you, it's TikTok and Reels for me personally. It's content. So I just said, I am going to give myself a plan of massive action, and I'm going to stick with it. And so mine was TikTok and Reels. Yours doesn't have to be TikTok and Reels. It could be just getting your posting down. It could be HAP. It could be your daily list. But I got very consistent with it, and I applied it, just like 10x'd it for the last 90 days. And I've never had the enrollments, the interaction, the growth that I've had, like that I've, you know. So I feel like wherever you're at, if you want to get momentum, figure out what you need to do it repetitively over and over and over and over again, but do it for a long enough period of time as if you're an airplane taking off the runway. Like be willing to have momentum on the ground before like you feel like it's taking off. And then the last, I know you said two, but I'm just going to say one more. Take quitting off the table. Like when you decide, this is the thing, when you decide that you're not going to quit or you're not going to not be successful, yes, not being successful is not even an option. And it's like, what does it take? Whatever it takes. Like, it's just, you have to be so laser focused. Like I'm just learning this. You will steer where you stare. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Anybody that's not filling you with like positivity or like, if they're like, just focus on what you want and go all in. And I just think that's how you get momentum.
You're exactly right. When you have a vision for the future, you change your story, you'll change your life. And if you want to be the hero or the shero of your life, you've got to change your story, change the dynamics of your action, and see that when you get all the options off the table, you have one option left. And that is the strength, from inner strength, to come in and say, I'm going to make it happen. I don't have nowhere to go. When I got sick and they said, you're going to die, on the medical field, all the options were gone. And all the options, we had exhausted everything. What got me still here 15 years later is the inner strength. I made up my mind. I said, I'd just be kissed my foot if I'm going to die. This not going to happen. If I do, I'm going to be out in the yard slinging. I'm going to become a warrior. So when you make up your mind, my kids are worth it. The woman I've been with for 43 years, Miss Jacquie, she's worth it. My mother's worth it. Y'all are worth it. You don't have to ask me to get up every day and go do what I do. No, that's part of the routine. I get up, I work out hard. You know why? Because I know them people are coming. I know the ladies that got in just a few minutes ago before the Zoom pop there, I knew they were coming. They got children. I knew that we got to help them create that generational legacy, to break the generational curses. You'll never create the generational legacy. And all of us coming together as unified, that creates solvency in our opportunity because we're unified and we're going somewhere together. One is too small of a number to win by yourself. That's what we understood 20 years ago. It takes an entire team to win. So that means you have to leave the stands, put your uniform on, get in the game, get out on the field, and start. The people that will get off the field, come off the field with the dirtiest, grass-stained, bloody uniforms is the ones that always win. And they're consistently in the Pro Bowl, in the Super Bowl. They're consistently winning. Just make up your mind that my new consistency is winning. I will no longer take mediocrity. That part of my life is gone. Divorce it, kill it, shoot it, bury it, get rid of it. And then you would deserve to win. Here's what it's going to take. Just a couple things. I believe I deserve it. And I believe I'm worth it. And look at your children. Baby doll, daddy says you're worth it. I ain't going back to the bank. I'm going to go into my little office here at the house. And for 20 years, I've been sitting here at this kitchen table in my office downstairs, and in a jet, and in an island, and all over the place, taking my kids to Europe and to Asia, writing them out of school. You know what? They were worth it. It never got to happen for me as a kid. But see, those are my children. Not to diminish anything my parents ever did for me. They instilled a value system that is worth fighting for. You know what it is? It's all about family. That's what you guys are. That's what we are. We're all family. Carissa, what you got to finish it up there, my sister?
So mine is more so of you elaborating, because another thing that I liked that you mentioned before, expanding your top line and the importance of what you've noticed from doing that. So if you can go into that a little bit so that people can understand the benefit of now expanding, because we were so used to 3 and everyone just said no 3 and just keep placing under 3. And now they're making us keep some more top line. So if you can explain, just elaborate a bit.
Yeah, so I'm like negative 45% green, I'm pretty sure. And so whenever I started this business, like I don't know, like I was just building deep, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's good in some situations to build deep because it's like stability. But here's what I noticed, and you can drop a 1 in the chat if you feel kind of maybe you're on the same path that I was. One day I just realized, I woke up and I'm like, I'm not treating this like a business in the sense that I don't even know what I'm doing. Like if you were like held a gun to my head and said, tell me the comp plan, I'd be like, bye. Like I have no idea. And I got to presidential diamond like that. So I'm not trying to be like, but for real, like it made me realize like, why are we not like, do you know the comp? Like maybe do you guys know the comp plan? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel confident? Like, I know why I'm placing down here. Or if I am placing down here, it's for a strategy because there's situations for both. Okay. So, you know, what I learned is like, first of all, it's so important to know this because as I learned it, I could tell my team if they had an above average, you know, Ruby check or a less than average Ruby check, why and how to fix it, you know, for one. But I realized that a lot of people were just placing out of their pay range. Like they're just placing out of their pay range. And so, you know, it's funny because before 4-1 was announced, I started building a little bit wider. I just started building a little bit wider. Like I just success leaves clues. And I mean, just to sum it up, I mean, our volume went down 30,000 just, you know, this time of year, but our paycheck went up 3,500. And so that was after like 40 days, probably, you know, all placing on my top line. So it's not all on my top line. I'm just building, like, I'm looking for, you know, I'm kind of just taking this season to be like, okay, you know, I'm building this way. You know, there's situations I think where you see someone that's running and, you know, obviously everyone's different, but my mindset is if I'm looking to partner with someone, like where could you build? Well, instead of placing 20 levels in their organization, if you're looking to help your team, maybe you're placing on their top line, you know? I will never forget. Well, I wish I took this more seriously like 3 years ago, but when I was in Emerald, we won a trip to Mark's Island and Stephanie Dunn was there. And I just remember sitting across from her and she's just like, yeah, like, you know, talked about how she places like within her first 3 levels. And I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out later, you know, whatever. And then I just kept building low. But then now when you actually see like, guys, you're level 1 and you're level 2, you're making, 10%, but if you're enrolling, you're making that extra 5%. So you're just going to get paid more when it's closer to the top. You know what I mean? So if you're with this 4-1, like you're enrolling, you're keeping your customers. You're keeping your customers. If you put a distributor on your first level or your second level, you're still keeping your customers. Like it just really allows you to focus on the basics and do it, right? And I love that because now we can't really tell, like, we can't really turn around and say like, oh, our team, you know, like, you know, we have to give our team something to duplicate. So when we focus on our 4-1, they do their 4-1. Like I'm just teaching everybody to do their 4-1. I'm going to teach my team, you know, this is how we build on our top line. This is why you would build down there. But even going Ruby, right? Like, I don't know. I remember the old charts had 5 legs. Like I'm down with the 5-leg Ruby. I don't know about you guys. I'm down for the 5-leg Ruby. And that's, you know, I like, to be honest, I mean, I should have asked if it was okay to say this. I don't know if it's okay to say this, but like, I'm not focusing on going ambassador. That's like how much I love this I'm not going ambassador. I mean, I will go ambassador, but to me, I would rather maximize the income and help the people running than just go ambassador to say I'm ambassador to build somebody, you know, like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna build wide. And there'll be seasons of change, but you know, you focus on you teach them to focus on what they're doing. And yeah, I just love that I just love it. So yes,
why don't we create something new? Y'all ready? Ian? Let's create Go Millionaire. That speaks volumes all by itself. Go Millionaire. Go double millionaire. You can have all the titles in the world, but if your investments and your banking accounts you don't get paid for a title. Let's just go millionaire. It's not hard to do. In fact, from what I understand, between the end of 2022, we'll double the amount of millionaires in this company. It's just that simple. It's not because I've banked a long time and I sit at the top of one of the top 5s from the Federal Reserve. It's because the math just really works off of what she said. Let's just go millionaire. You can call me whatever. I'm not interested in your title, but leadership is how many problems are we going to go out and solve? We're going to help other people solve their problems. That's how you become a leader. That's how you become a millionaire. Solve more problems. Weight loss is up 73% in my state. There's 83% of the people looking for, or what they call it, a side hustle. I said, I don't have a side hustle. I have a big business. You don't make big money in side hustles. You make big money in big business. If I teach you how to develop a big business, and that's exactly what you just said and went over, when I teach you to do that, you make big money. Let's just go millionaire. If y'all want to help me clone that, every time we get on a Zoom together for all these other people I've got scheduled the rest of the week, let's just go millionaire. How about that? At that point, you won't have to worry about whatever your gray poupon title is. And that's cool. But if you do this right one time, you'll be here in 20 years with me, because I'll be here in the next 20 years unless God decides I need to go home. And I don't plan on it because my health is getting better by the day. And I want to help more people break free. 2 things I want to do. Help you get very healthy and get out of debt. When you wake up in the morning and you own everything that you got, and you don't owe nobody nothing, that is one hell of a good feeling. When you walk out and nobody can tell you what you can and can't do, what kind of stuff you can and can't drive, because it's all yours, that's exciting to me. What you going to tell a guy or gal or family that they don't owe you nothing? When we take you out of that vicious cycle, that is where the true freedom begins. Carissa, you got anything else?
Nope, that's all I have. I'm just excited that, there we go. Okay. I'm just excited at the fact that so many different people here and get to hear the information. Okay. I don't know why I keep doing that. ADD. See? Okay, I'm gonna mute you, and then you come back. Let's see if that do it. Oh, there it is. Rusty, you are the common denominator. So, see, ADD done catch step. Now I'm gone. I can't remember. I'm just excited about so many people on here. Everyone gets to hear the information, be able to hear that it's okay about the way the 4-1 is set up. You know, she's been doing it a little longer than what the 4 started. So she's been able to see the rewards from it, where the rest of us probably will see it where we October, probably be seeing it more November. But I'm excited about it. I love the fact that we'll keep them. You know, some of us are grandfathered into our old loyal customer bonuses. Me, where getting back my 3,000 BV, I'll get $100. What about you, Rusty? I think we was just talking about that earlier. So I'm excited about that. That's something else to work towards. So just understand that it's something that's helping you be able to move at a slower pace, but at the same time help your people grow. It's not pushing them along and pushing them all the way to the top, and then they don't know how they got there. It's helping them maintain their business on their own while they're growing at the same time. So I'm just excited for that. And I'm excited for more people to now be more plugged into the systems and understand how to work their businesses too.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I appreciate you all being on Thursday. Jackie, thank you so much for being on. We love you, girl. Anything that Carissa and I can do for you, you've got my private number. Don't feel free to just jump out and we're in. Guys, I hope you have the best night you've ever had. And until tomorrow, make up your mind that you're coming after us like with every fiber in your being. And like Jackie said, it's called radical massive action. We'll take you to anywhere you want to go. Good night, everyone.